Stefan, welcome to TR Unblocked. I'd like to start this conversation by getting your observations on TFWA 2022. How much of a success was it for Brown Forman?
It's been very clearly a very good week. I would say a wonderful week, very rich in many aspects, and with an overall very positive momentum. We could experience and enjoy the intention first to reconnect as an industry that was there. The audience was there too. It was really great to be able to connect with a wider audience versus a year ago because we did have this year many key stakeholders from Asia, which was fantastic. And I would say that in regards with Brown Forman and following a lot of hard work and good work that we did behind the scenes during the pandemic, we started in the last few months to initiate quite a few interesting activities all around with high impact activations, impactful media plans. That was really the results of this hard work that we were doing behind the scenes. So we were starting to enjoy these first benefits. So it was wonderful to reconnect with the business, and when meeting with our customers in Cannes, I believe they were really interested and delighted by our bold ambitions, by our strategic framework, and our proposed plan. So again, when looking at their eyes and their smiles, I think they were together really connected with us. So a very good week overall.
Interestingly, your exhibition space was very differently designed this year. What was the thinking behind this?
Indeed, as you know, we have in Cannes a beautiful space there, a very interesting volume. And we, as a matter of fact, as a team, we felt that we could better leverage all of this. And these came from essentially two different angles. The first one is that we acknowledge that our brands are crafted by a blend of traditional methods and modern innovation. And we wanted to better share that, better express that in situ. The other element that we had in mind was to recognize that many of us tend to spend quite some time on screens all year long. I tend to do that for sure. And we wanted to avoid that fatigue during, what is ultimately a very intense week for our customers, for all of us, but clearly for our customers. So therefore, we decided to go for a bet and redesign that space, leverage that volume differently. And what we did was to sacrifice actually some meeting rooms and convert them into actually some sort of space dedicated to a showroom for our brand. So ultimately ending on a much more immersive brand experience, like you would have somehow in the cosmetic and fashion businesses.
Of course, importantly, this year we also witnessed the launch of Jack Daniel's American Single Malt. Now, I have to say it's a very distinctive product and it actually tastes great. Just how important, though, is this launch to the company? And please give us some background.
Absolutely. And first of all, I'm delighted you enjoyed it, Peter. I have to say, I believe we have there something very special. We have a delicious proposition indeed, and it is a big deal for us. It is of high importance, and that is coming, for two main reasons. The first one is, as a matter of fact, this is a big, bold move from Jack Daniel's. We look at that as a category disruptive launch. This is definitely a new era for Jack Daniel's in the world of spirits innovation. For the first time in its history, the Jack Daniel's distillery is introducing a 100% malted barley grain bill with this new American single malt finished in Oloroso sherry cask. Our master distiller, Chris Fletcher, together with his team, because he's clearly not alone, crafting our whiskeys over there in Lynchburg. They started this journey and this wonderful project a while ago, and they worked hard and they pushed the boundaries to craft what is a very special liquid. Again, created from 100% malted barley, then charcoal mellowed like we do at Jack Daniel's, and then twice barreled. First in New American charred oak barrels, the way we do it again at Jack Daniel's, but then in the finest seasoned oloroso sherry cask, and that makes these liquid very special and unique Jack Daniel's expression. I'll say it one more time: we have never crafted anything like this in Lynchburg, which is why it's a big deal for us. The second element that really makes it unique in this case is this GTR exclusivity. When we will be launching it next year in June, the release will be only available in the travel retail space, and I think it's a big deal for my team, which is honored and delighted by this big responsibility. It's a rare opportunity we have. We do some line extensions and innovation in Jack Daniel's, but this kind of innovation in the single malt space is new, and we do that. We do take this as a rare opportunity, and that confirms as well how Forman looks at the travel retail space as a strategic platform and understanding the traveler's need and expectations. We know they want to trade up. We know that while traveling, they are looking for new whiskeys, new expressions. They want to explore new tastes. And clearly, these new ultra premium expressions for them to discover will perfectly address that. So we are very proud, and we can't wait to share that with our friends in a few months' time.
Well, I think it's going to be a genuine asset to the global travel retail business. It's quite an extraordinary thing, and it's only 5 years young, as I understand it. But there were a host of other products that you were profiling on the stand. Just walk us through what moves on those.
Absolutely. Even though Jack is clearly important for us, extremely important, it's not just about Jack Daniel's, and we do have a much broader portfolio that with very promising and fast-growing brands. And in Cannes, we could showcase, I would say, our single malt to start with. We do have 3 very interesting, very promising single malts: Benriach, Glendronach, and Glenglassaugh. That remains for the time being some niche brands in the single malt space, which is an asset. It's clearly something very attractive for the single malt drinkers, and definitely they are getting more and more traction every year and more desire from the consumers. So we could showcase them very nicely. I was very happy and proud of this. We also introduced some new news and some innovation on the Finlandia vodka trademark with 2 Finlandia vodka botanicals. There again, very interesting expressions in the GTR format specifically. I would add a few words about our Gin Fort, which is one of these little gems that we really want to polish and bring more light on. This is one of these brands that was acquired a couple of years before the pandemic, and we were planning to launch it in GTR, but as you can imagine, that was put on hold and postponed. But now is the time, and we are about to launch it in GFK in the next few weeks before expanding it more broadly. But this is one of these brands that I'm very passionate about and that really deserves some great light. If you allow me, Peter, a few more words about Woodford Reserve, which is really another brand with such potential that has been growing so well all around the world, including in GTR in the last 20 plus years. And we have big plans for that brand. We are very ambitious. We know we have a plan, as you can imagine. We know how to do that. And we are determined as well with this brand. And we showcased in Cannes one of these big initiatives that we actually brought to life in Charles de Gaulle just a few weeks before Cannes. And that's shown to be, that proved to be a real success. So we brought that that structure, which is really a big experiential proposal to really immerse the travelers into what Woodford Reserve is and to offer the full perspective on the full portfolio. And we showcased that to our customers, and they were really interested, really delighted. So the plan is now to expand that big initiative on Woodford Reserve and bring more light on Woodford around the world.
But you haven't actually mentioned, Stefan, anything on Jack and Coke. What's the latest news there on your move into the ready-to-drink sector?
I think I will be relatively brief on that one because this is still somehow recent. It's for sure wonderful agreements. We are so excited and proud of this big agreement that really brings together two of the most popular branded drinks in the world, both being, in leadership positions in their respective categories, both being deeply rooted in their values and trusted by the consumers all around the world. So this is extremely exciting, and this global relationship holds huge potential for sure for both brands. However, I was saying we still are in the early stage of these agreements. What I can tell you is that we are launching it in November, so now, in Mexico to start with, and that will be followed by a broader rollout with other markets, which will include the US and some European markets in the course of the spring of 2023. So I would say watch this space, more to come on that, but indeed it's a very, very exciting project.
Now, just moving on, I mean, arguably 2022 has been a year of expansion and acquisition across the drink sector. And of course, Brown-Forman have been pretty busy this year too. I mean, you've increased your distillery output at Louisville and are expanding your Scotch production at Glendronach with the recent announcement of a $37 million investment. You've also acquired Gin Mare from Vanguard to move into the gin sector in Spain, and most recently, of course, have bought Diplomático rum. There seems to be a real dynamic to the business at the moment.
Absolutely, Peter. There is a lot going on and a lot of very positive things happening. I would say, to start with this question, that it really reaffirms or reminds to our key stakeholders that at Brown-Forman, we look at the long term. We are a long-term oriented company. For more than 150 years, we have enriched life by building fine quality beverage alcohol brands. Over the time, we became a global company with teams across 6 continents who produce, market, and distribute fine spirits and wines in more than 170 countries. Our goal yesterday, today, and tomorrow is to grow sustainably in the long term. So really, we look at the business with a long-term lens. And I would quote our former chairman of the board, Garvin Brown, who said a few times in the last few years something I really liked. And that was, at Brown-Forman, we are distillers, we are from Kentucky, and we are here to stay. And that really says, a lot about, this longevity and this resilience that the company has. And I think this was very much valued as well for our travel retail team and business, especially during the pandemic, because despite the challenges, of course, we went through, we maintain our long-term, strategic perspective. We demonstrated patience, resilience, and we stick to our strategic thinking, even and particularly during these difficult times. So that's one element, the longevity and the long-term perspective of the company. Of course, this is related as well to our portfolio and how this portfolio has been evolving and growing over the time. We still have a clear expertise and leadership in the premium plus American whiskeys. We have Jack Daniels, we have Woodford Reserve, we have Old Forester, and that's meant to stay. That will remain our primary focus for sure. But we also play strategically in other dynamic, fast-growing categories. Just mentioned few brands playing in the tequila segment, vodka, now the rum, gin. So we are expanding our footprint in the most growing categories, always in the premium plus segment, because that makes sense as per our expertise in the business. And you mentioned indeed a lot of investments, and that's related to ultimately the investments we are able to make in different fronts on the brands, in the capacity of our distilleries to make sure that we can meet the demand in 5 years' time, 10 years' time, 20 years' time or plus, especially for the single malts. And that connects again to this long-term perspective I was mentioning a few minutes ago. But I would say the last element, but probably the most important element of this and on how we look at the business is related to the people. And I can tell you, Peter, that really at Brown-Forman, we care about the people and we believe in our people. And we often say very rightly that our people make our brands. And that's why we really invest carefully in them, because they will make the difference. Ultimately, they create the brands we have, they grow our brands, and that's how we make the difference. So that's why we have a set of iconic brands for sure, but we have also a very cohesive set of teams, very diverse from all around the world, bringing different perspectives and really connecting throughout shared values. And that's what makes the difference, ultimately, we believe.
Well said, Stefan. A final question, just looking forward into 2023, which is really only around the corner. Other than what you've mentioned, what might also there be for the travel retail industry? What can we expect from Brown-Forman?
What you can expect from us is long-term commitment to the travel retail industry overall. As I said a minute ago, we're here to stay. We're here to grow with our partners, with our customers, who can count on us because we will be there for them. You can count on a great consistency for sure when it comes to how we look at the business, when it comes to our strategic framework. We are not shifting our priorities, but we are adding more ways to achieve our business ambitions and eventually more quickly. Clearly, Jack Daniel's trademark remains our beating heart, but it's not just about this. As I mentioned, we have a growing portfolio of very promising brands. We have sharp ideas on how to grow them. We are determined to do it. We are going to do it. And we are going to do that together with our customers. So expect more and bigger initiatives at scale, because what we started in the last few months in different places, JFK, New York, Shanghai, London, this is just the beginning. We are testing and learning. We are improving what we're doing, and we are going to bring that at a higher scale and more loudly and boldly to the travelers. So watch this space.
A suitable point on which to end the interview. Stéphane Morizet, thank you for your time.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you very much.